Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast, where we talk about manifestation, money, and practical guidance to creating your dream reality. My name is Amy Van Meel, and I am an experienced coach and transformation guide, obsessed with helping you get out of your own way and create a life that blows your mind each day you wake up. My goal in this podcast is to share practical manifestation, self-awareness, and growth techniques in real talk conversations. So if you're ready to massively transform your reality, your finances, your relationships, and your overall enjoyment of life, you are in the right place. I am absolutely delighted that you're here with me today, babe. Let's get into it. Hello, my love, and welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast. I am, of course, your host, Amy. I'm delighted to be here with you today. It is the first day in nearly 3 weeks that it's not 35 degrees outside. We have, of course, the smoke rolling in, which is a bit disappointing, but that's sort of par for the course this time of year. We often will have smoke from forest fires. Either it blows up from the US or it comes in from BC. So here we are, but it's not 35 degrees and I'm fucking here for it. So I have been doing this really fun, it's like a 21-day Unleash Your Inner Money Babe book. I'm continually learning about money and checking out what other people have created, and it's always opening up new gateways. One of the things that I like to do when I engage in this kind of learning is to always remind myself at the start that I'm coming into this as if I don't know anything, as if this is all brand new to me. It's something that I definitely encourage you to do, because when we come into knowledge, and with this idea of well, I already know this, I've heard this before, we dismiss what's coming toward us. We literally close off our ability to receive new insights, to become aware of beliefs that have been standing in the way, all that kind of stuff. So when we approach any kind of learning, knowledge share, right, information sharing, with this idea that well, I already know this, I've heard this before, you're shutting yourself down and closing yourself off from receiving insight. So it's one of my favorite things. It's something that I learned years ago from someone that I've been following for quite a while. And they said as well, every time I go into something, some learning, I invest in a program, whatever, I go in with this idea of how would this be if this were brand new to me? And in a world where we are taught that we want to be the smartest person in the room, that we need to show how successful we are, how intelligent we are, and definitely I know that's how I felt as well. I wanted to wow people with, whoa, she knows a lot, right? And this person said they aim to be the dumbest person in the room. And I'm going to clarify that of not, oh my God, they're so dumb, they don't fucking know anything. But they are surrounded by people who know so much more than they do, which means the opportunity for them to learn is massive. Right? And it's that perpetual learner's mindset that you're always open to learning, understanding something new, something more. It's such a powerful place to be in. So I was doing today's reading. It's every day there's a lesson, and then you do some reflection or answer questions or whatever else. And I've been really enjoying it. And today was all about taking responsibility for money. And this is, if there's a time when I'm exploring knowledge and insight, that there is a very quick reaction to go, yeah, I've heard this before. This is one of them. And I will say it's because it's very often tied to a 6-letter word that I think is worse than any swear word on the planet. And that word is budget. I don't like budgets. They don't work for me. I don't teach it. Building vampires has nothing in it about building a budget. There's lots of really great tools out there if you need and want help in creating a sustainable budget. Now, I will clarify this for those of you who are learning and maybe screaming at me but Amy, you need to be responsible with your money. You are correct. I don't need a budget in order, like a formalized budget in order to do that. I understand very clearly like the flow of my money, when bills are due, like what's going out, what's coming in, like that's, but I long ago released this belief and this need for having a budget. Because I realized it was not fucking working for me. It made me feel so low. I felt so just garbage. And even like doing kind of the regular check-in, which again is recommended by a lot of people, and if that works for you, fucking go for it. I realized that like at first, money's not going to feel great, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm very excited about it. But for me, it was just perpetuating this like garbage feeling. And it made me really begin to hate money, hate experiencing money, hate thinking about money. And I knew that that was not going to get me where I wanted to be in my reality with money. So I let go of this like need and sort of force from the collective saying that I needed to have a budget. There's a lot of things that I have done in my life that are counter to like common money advice from a whole raft of financial experts. I shared my story of how $10 changed my life. And the very short version of that is I went completely against all the financial advice that I had seen, heard, received everywhere that was like, get rid of all of your debt first and then start saving money. And I literally started just setting aside $10 a month into a savings account. And oh my God, that literally changed my life because for the first time I could actually see money grow. It was super powerful. But in order to do that, I had to go against financial advice from so many financial experts, people who had the success, apparently had the success that I desired, who had the financial freedom that I desired. But I just knew, oh my God, I just knew. Like, I am the biggest proponent for listening to your intuition. Anybody that I've ever coached, anybody that I've ever led in my job will tell you the same thing, that like I am a huge advocate for trusting your gut, for listening to your jellies, for tuning into your intuition, however you want to frame it, doesn't really matter. Because my intuition has never, ever, ever led me astray. And it has always allowed for even like the smallest things. Like it didn't make any fucking sense to set aside $10 a month. I didn't have a purpose for it. It didn't have a job. I was like, I'm just going to put it in a savings account. I'm going to stop putting shit all over it and just put it aside. I think I ended up using it like years later to buy my punching bag, which is one of my most joyful purchases because I could pay for it without having to incur any kind of debt. And that was a very powerful moment. So I digress. I want to come back to it. Today I'm doing today's lesson. And today's lesson is all about like owning your shit. It's about taking responsibility for your money, with your money, on your money, in your money, and really like going into like looking at the numbers. Now, like I said, I know my numbers, so that's fine. I check in sort of every now and again to kind of go, has anything changed? Remind my brain of kind of where things at. But I read this sentence and I had to get on and record a podcast about this. And I love this. I'm going to very quickly just add this little thing before I dive into the sentence. So after the investing series that I've done, the last few podcast episodes have been completely in flow. I also realized as I was thinking about what I was going to record this week, I'm like, I've also started creating this habit of starting off the podcast going, so I have no notes today. You don't give a shit whether I have notes or not. You just want to know if it's good and be there to receive the knowledge and insight, right? But it's this funny thing that I almost feel like I need to I can't remember what the word is. It's going to come to me in a second, but like not exactly qualified, but like adjust for the fact that I don't have notes in front of me. And so somehow I need to apologize to you. Do you care? No, you just want to know that what's coming through is good. So really just being in this space of openness, trusting. It's this really juicy space to just trust that the next episode is going to flow into me and I'm just going to know it. And honest to goodness, the last however many it's been since I did the investing series, has literally been like that. And it's felt so good. And I have loved being here with you on the podcast and loved sharing what's flowing through. And I feel like, fuck, like things are just getting good. Let me know if you feel the same way. Like if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, but like definitely the last few episodes, or even if this is your first episode, like let me know how this is resonating with you. Throw me a DM on Instagram. The handle is always in my show notes, but it's Amy Van Meel. It's just my name. Yeah, like drop me a DM. Let me know if this is resonating for you, because man, that would really help me understand how things are flowing through. And while you're at it, leave a review. So here is the sentence that I read. And I'm going to very quickly, before I read this, preface that what I'm about to say, if you have strong religious views or ties, today's episode may not be your jam. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. So here's the sentence. Here's the partial sentence. People get into the vibration of guilt and shame when it comes to money. And when I tell you that reading those, however many words that is, fucking threw sparks in my brain. I'm not even finished reading the lesson. I just stopped immediately. I grabbed a microphone, set up my computer because I'm like, oh, this is fucking the podcast episode. I want to be in this energy right now to record this. So here's the very first thing that came to me. I've been studying money for a long time. And I'm constantly asking questions. I'm constantly wondering, like, where did we get that from? Why is that the case? So here's the deal. This sentence, like, people get into the vibration of guilt and shame when it comes to money. That is not by accident. Okay? It is not your natural state. It is not how we are meant to experience money. You don't feel fucking guilty or shameful when it comes to using electricity, when it comes to, like swimming in water or drinking water. You don't feel fucking guilty or shameful for like going out into the sunshine. All these things are energy. Money is just energy. But we have been taught over the history that money is something to be guilty and shameful about. And here's why. Long ago, the church taught us that to have money in any capacity is a bad thing, that it is our moral duty to give our wealth to the church. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into that because, oh my gosh, we could be here for a while and you didn't come here for a religious history lesson. But it is true. If you actually look through the history of money and you understand like the dynamic of how organized religion had its impact on literally every element of our life today. Like if you wonder like why the fuck do we do things? There's a good chance that like there's some tie-in to 15th century, 16th century kind of like religious doctrine or even older. So I've been reading the book On Our Best Behavior. And I think the author's name is like Elise Loehnen. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a fantastic read. It dives into the 7 sins, specifically as they relate to women. And the chapter on money, I think I highlighted the whole damn chapter because I was like, oh my God, yes, this. So, I mean, we know this as women. We've been indoctrinated, and I talk about this a lot on the podcast and in my social media posts. We've been indoctrinated with a lot of garbage because the patriarchy can really hold its thumb on our pulse and keep its control so long as we believe that we are bad or greedy or immoral or pick whatever. I'm not into this whole big like fuck the patriarchy kind of thing, but I use the word patriarchy because we are living in a patriarchal society across, I would say, probably most of the globe. I don't think there's a lot of places that are exempt from this. And it's been in place for a long time, but it hasn't always been that way. When it comes to money, we were taught, our forebears before us were taught that money is guilty and shameful, that it's bad, that having it makes you greedy. Now, what's very fascinating, if you actually pay attention, so much of the church, and I'm just going to say church in general, but much of the church's wealth has come from what I'll call obligated tithing. I can't remember. I think it was in the 1500s or 1600s. I can't remember exactly, but there was a period of time where the religious leaders in the church um, basically said you literally had to like pay money to receive um, absolution from your sins. So like if I don't know, let's say you said a curse word and you're talking to the priest or whatever, like you would pay a specific amount of money to be absolved of your sin. Like that's I can't make this shit up. Like that's literally what the church did. So much of the church's wealth, well, all of the church's wealth really, has come from receiving it from its patrons. And this is true, I would expect, of pretty much all religions that exist on the planet. Like I don't think there's one that's exempt. And again, we're not going to go deep into the finances of religion. But when you are taught that money is bad, that you should feel guilty for having it, that it's shameful to have it. And oh, by the way, it's shameful to not understand it. It's shameful to spend it. It's shameful to save it. It's shameful to, really fucking do everything with it. It's not okay to have money just come to you, right? It has to come through very hard work. This is something that I've been really playing with and unpacking in my awareness, this idea of like that money, you don't actually have to work for money to show up in your life. And to give you an example, there's lots of examples of passive income, lots of examples of like people who've invested money and that money has gone on to grow. That's not them doing hard work, right? Like if I were to invest in a company today at $10 a share and in like, I don't know, this is a completely made up scenario. In 5 days, suddenly those shares are worth $1,000 a share and I decide to sell, right? I've made huge amounts of money doing barely any work. Like literally my work was, okay, I paid, bought the shares, and then I sold the shares. Like it's like 10 minutes of work, right? But it's generated thousands of dollars. That's literally easy money. It's money that I haven't specifically worked for. But again, we're taught that this is wrong. And women in particular are very much dissuaded from this kind of earning. And we are taught that we need to um, have financial advisors or investment professionals. Like they have to do all this for us. And in order to access that, of course, we need to pay fees and blah, 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 blah. I touch on all of this inside the Building Vampires program. So when I read the sentence, we get in the vibration of guilt and shame when it comes to money. It's always there. It's not, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not fucking broken. Okay. I want you to really understand your experience with money, how you experience it in your day-to-day life, how you feel about it, how you work with it, how you move with it. That has all been taught to you. It's all been taught to you. You have followed examples from people in your family when you were really little, when you were this sweet, innocent little child. You had your reticular activating system wasn't in process yet, okay, which meant you were a wide open subconscious mind, which means that literally anything anybody said to you, everything that you observed around you, all went straight into your subconscious. Your subconscious is the fucking house of your beliefs. If you're like, why the fuck do I do this? It's in your subconscious mind. Like, that's why. It doesn't have to make sense. I say this so often. Beliefs don't make logical sense. Okay? So stop looking for logic when it comes to your beliefs. And in fact, you don't necessarily even need to know why you have a belief in order to shift and clear it. Now, I teach all of this inside the Building Vampires program. And I also have a workshop coming up in a few weeks. Called Unfuck Your Money. You can register for the workshop by going to amyvanmeel.com/workshop. Of course, the link is in the show notes for you. We are going to be spending a little bit of time together to understand limiting beliefs, how they get created, where they come from. We're going to clear a limiting belief together, a very common limiting belief about money. We are going to clear it together. And then I'm going to help you understand what it could be like to really be unfuckwithable when it comes to money in your life. All right. So if that sounds at all interesting to you, then get your buns registered for the workshop. It's going to be so fucking good. If you've ever attended any of my workshops, you will know that I fucking bring it. And if you've never attended any of my workshops, come join me and I will show you that I fucking bring it. My challenge with these workshops is always, how do I keep it simple enough, right? As instead of just fire hosing people with information. So come check out the workshop. It's going to be August 13th, 14th, 15th at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard. We're going to be doing the work together, but you can register and get signed up for the workshop. And also, very quick, while you are doing that, when you finish your registration, you'll find yourself at a thank you page that has an offer for really powerful upgrade package. So the upgrade is a tailored hypnosis that actually within it clears 5 very common money beliefs, sets some new empowering beliefs in place for you. There's a meditation that's included with a very, very strong visualization to really give your subconscious mind super clear instructions of how to go after what you're manifesting. And then there is a shorter, it's called Ask Formations, because your brain has to, it's how it's wired. Your brain has to give you answers when you ask it questions. So it's really important to give it really fucking good questions. So the Ask Formations is a really powerful learning. You get all of those for $11. I mean, come on. Like, how do you say no to that? But you only get that access to that, what am I trying to say? To that product after you register for the workshop. So get your buns registered for the workshop. So very quick, let's go back and finish off this vibration of guilt and shame, and then we'll wrap up today. So everything that you have been taught, let me rewrite that. Everything that you do and think and feel with money has been taught to you. We have been taught that guilt and shame is what we're supposed to feel when it comes to money. Women in particular, okay? Men have a lot of similar root beliefs and experiences with money, but men have a different approach when it comes specifically to like the weight of money, because men, of course, are taught and highly socialized that their job is to provide. It is their job to be the financial breadwinner for the family, whatever size that family is. It's very intriguing. We are in a place in time right now, culturally, where women are finally starting to, I'm going to say earn more. I'm not going to say necessarily that we're earning equally, because I mean, you and I both know that in almost every single case, women are still being underpaid compared to male coworkers who were doing the same job. I'll just say the same title, not necessarily doing the same kind of work. But there are more and more examples where women are out earning their husbands, boyfriends, fiancés, whatever, their male spouses. Okay. Our house is a perfect example of it. I remember the day that I was told I was getting a raise at work. I'd secured a bunch of promotions. I'd been making like some really great progress, and there was a compensation increase coming my way. And I knew that that increase was going to have me earning more than my husband. And I chatted with him. I said, "How do you feel about that?" Because I wanted to be very clear and open. We're always really clear and open in our communication. We really work hard at that. But I wanted to, in advance, get in front of anything if it was going to cause him to feel some kind of way. It did not mean that I was going to refuse that raise. And it absolutely did not mean that I was going to do something silly to get rid of the money. But what I did want to know was, is this going to be an issue? Because, of course, it will impact other elements of our relationship. And he just looked at me. I don't think I'll ever forget this. He just looked at me. He's like, "No, I think it's fucking amazing." Like, that's great. He's one of the most secure people that I know. Like, seriously, I don't see much that causes him concern. He has no concerns about the big goals and dreams that I'm going after, and he's super excited for me. for what I'm creating. So it was a non-issue. There's no issue for him that I was seeing massive success in my job. No issue that I was seeing, big increases in um, my salary. Like that didn't bother him at all. It also doesn't bother him, when I was making less. Like there's just been no issue. But I wanted to check in because again, men are conditioned to be the breadwinners, right? So we've just been taught this. I'm gonna wrap it up here because I will go on repeat. Um, I want you to understand that if you're feeling some kind of garbagey way when it comes to money, understand that you have been taught that. You have been led to believe that that is true. It's not. Your natural state with money is not to feel like garbage. It's not to, um, you know, you're not required to feel guilty or shameful or whatever, lacking, frustrated, depressed. Like those are not the natural state of money. Remember that money is neutral. It's just energy. It's moving around us. How we get to choose how we experience it, and you've been taught all these things, and you can unlearn all that garbage. And oh, by the way, I teach you how to do that inside the Building Vampires program. So, hot tip, get your buns enrolled for that the next time it shows up. All right. With that, I wish you an absolutely fucking fantastic day. Thank you so much for joining me. I really love these moments where we get to spend together. And like I said, I would love to hear from you, how you've been enjoying the podcast. Please leave a review. Those reviews are super valuable for expanding the reach. And for those of you who've already left a review, thank you so much for doing that. I so love having you here with me. And I'm going to finish off the rest of my lesson. So see you later. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you loved what you heard today, be sure to share it with me by leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform and help me reach more like-minded people who are ready to expand their life. If you haven't yet followed me on social media, find me on Instagram for extra love and inspiration by following at Amy Van Meel or visit my website at amyvanmeel.com. I love you so much, babe, and I am damn proud of you. I am already excited to connect in the next episode. And in the meantime, believe in yourself with the confidence of a 5-year-old.